offside wide. England have been very accurate over the last 3 matches. Went through 2 matches without bowling a wide at all. Nasser Hussain back in charge for England. It was on this ground that he sustained that broken thumb, playing in a National Cricket League match. Essex Eagles against the Nottinghamshire Outlaws. Chris Reed smashed the ball at Hussain, who was fielding at short extra cover, and he sustained that injury. It's kept him out for 3.5 weeks. Paul Franks has come through the England under-19 system. Paul Franks also went on A tours to Zimbabwe and South Africa in 98-99 and to Bangladesh and New Zealand last winter. Have a look at that incident where Nasser Hussain sustained that thumb injury. Chris Reed, the batsman, half volley from Ashley Cowan, smashed into the covers, and straight away Hussain knows he's in lots of trouble. Fully recovered now, fielding close in.
Towards your touch.
Darren Goff's going to bowl from the pavilion end. This really is a beautiful cricket ground these days. Trent Bridge, magnificent new stand at the Radcliffe Road end of the ground. Chris Gale on strike. Darren Goff has been ever present for England. Trescothick and Hick are the 2 slip fielders. Remember that the fielding captain in the first 15 overs of these 50 over games has to have 2 close catches, and he is only allowed 2 men outside the circle for those first 15 overs.
Alex Stewart nearly in business again. He's been pretty handy with the gloves. Not to mention the good 100 he got the other night. 10 catches in his last 2 games. Very nearly in action again. I'm quite interested, Bob, England winning the toss on this what looks to be very good batting strip and choosing to field first. I think that might just be giving themselves practice at a run chase.
Yes, Nasser Hussain said at the toss that he thought it was a very difficult ground to defend a total on. Fast outfield, big boundaries. But I think there may be something in what you say, that Zimbabwe have proved that they can chase big totals. England haven't had to chase a huge one in this NatWest series yet. They may have to on Saturday. They may have to today. There's 4. Beautiful cover drive from Chris Gale, standing high in the crease as a tall man. Just leant into that and timed it to perfection.
Well, there's a good indication of the quality of this wicket. It's not really a half volley. I just have a hint of width on it. It really just stood up and hit it almost on the up. Beautiful shot.
Today, Barry Leadbeater, we saw him in action as the third umpire at Edgbaston. Played his cricket for Yorkshire. Standing in his 5th one-day international today, and Merv Kitchen is back in action, and he's standing at the Radcliffe Road end. Kitchen played for Somerset between 1960 and 79. 27 one-day internationals under his belt now, in addition to 20 tests. Barry Leadbeater has not stood in test cricket. Our third umpire today, a colleague of Merv Kitchen's at Somerset, Graham Burgess. Well, that's a pretty spectacular effort from Campbell. Didn't look to be a genuine half volley either, but it's been smacked over extra cover for 4.
I think the West Indies will realise they need to get runs in this first 15 overs. Nothing wrong with the ball at all. Campbell just hitting it on the up, deciding to go over the top this time. They're going to need to get a good start here, I think, on this sort of wicket in this outfield. A big total's an absolute must. Always good having just hit a boundary, try and get a single off the next ball.
Turn over.
Nothing more annoying for the bowler.
That's leg stump.
.30-yard circle. At this stage of the match, in the opening 15 overs, just 2 men allowed to field outside that area. The captain must have those close catches as well, 2 of those. The West Indies will be enjoying the change in the weather. I felt particularly sorry for them up at Chester Street. Temperature expected to rise to 26 degrees in Nottingham today. It's not far away from that now. 23 degrees shortly after 9 o'clock this morning. Big crowd in already, expecting a full house today at Trent Bridge, home of Nottinghamshire County Cricket Club. And the new stand at the Radcliffe Road end, a magnificent addition to this famous old test ground. Excellent facilities for spectators and the media. Straight back again from Chris Gale, end of Frank's 2nd over. No wicket for 7. Goff no wicket for 4. West Indies 11 without loss after 3 overs. No immediate prospect of Paul Franks breaking into the test match team. The England seam bowling pretty settled at the moment. If Goff, Caddick and Cork stay fit. Pressure from Mullally and Hoggard to take that 4th seamer's place, if that's the route the selectors are going to go for the next test match. A lot of talk about the balance of the England side for that match. Will they play 7 specialist batsmen and just 4 bowlers, or will they want a spinner at Old Trafford?
Bob, you never mentioned Harmison, who was in the initial squad at the start of the season, never really got an opportunity. Has he gone off the boil a bit?
Well, he's missed some cricket for Durham, but I know Ian Botham in particular really rates Steve Harmison, and the way the West Indies batted in their 2nd innings at Lords, they didn't fancy the ball bowled fast and short at them. Harmison's well capable of doing that. Goff just straying in direction. The decision England selectors really have to make is, OK, the wicket might turn at Old Trafford, but have we got a spinner that's going to exploit those conditions? No problems for England in the seam bowling department, people queuing up to play. The West Indies have got a few problems in that area. Ambrose and Walsh will be in tandem once again after resting during this one-day series. But their backup bowling leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I think the other thing is a little bit of a fallacy that the West Indians can't play spin. It's been a long time since a spinner was responsible for undoing their batting department. And I agree with you with what little I saw of the match at Lord's. They certainly didn't look to be too comfortable against good quick bowling, good class quick bowling. Nasser Hussain at backward point. Craig White quite square in the covers. In those areas there. The reason for that is that obviously the length that Darren Gough bowls, not expected to pitch the ball up, not expected to be driven. So all the fielders go a little bit square. In fact, Nasser Hussain quite well behind point. Pretty good 10 yards behind point. The other thing there is Chalky White is able to get himself in very close just as the ball's bowled. He knows it's not going to be driven past him.
Slow ball from Gough, West Indies 13 without loss. Crowds pouring into Trent Bridge for this last qualifying match in the NatWest series before Saturday's final. So Campbell advances by 1. England will be very keen to win today and finish top of the qualifying group. They can do that by adding 2 points to their total of 7 and overtaking Zimbabwe. Table at the moment has Zimbabwe at the top. They finished their programme, 6 matches, 4 good victories, losing 2. West Indies still looking for their first win. Just that 1 point from no result against England at Lord's. England will be back there on Saturday. It's a good one from Franks, although he has overstepped the front line again.
He obviously has a few run-up problems. He marks his run-up out before the game starts with a tape measure to try and make it exact. Already has bowled a second no ball in the short spell. That was him marking it out earlier this morning.
Good help, pal, well recovered.
Seems to be a constant problem for bowlers overstepping the front line. Fellow commentators Michael Holding and Ian Botham simply can't understand what all the fuss is about. They never had problems bowling no balls through their career. Smash past Hussain, that scores a beautiful shot from Gale. Standing tall again.
We've seen a lot of bowlers going round the wicket at left-handers, and the reason for that is to try and cramp them for any sort of width. Franks going over the wicket, offers a little bit of that width, and Gale puts that away. Chris Gale has got 8 runs, 2 scoring shots, both boundaries. Going back to that no ball problem, Bob, it is always my feeling as a coach that a lot of the problem stems from the fact that bowlers are allowed to bowl huge no balls in net practice. And to me, if you're going to practice a fault, you've got every chance of perfecting it.
Yes, that's gone on through the years. I'm not sure why bowlers are so keen to break through that line in practice. They always say it doesn't affect them when they get out in the middle, but I'm afraid it does. End of the 5th over, 6 runs coming from that. A pretty solid start by the West Indies. Neither Franks nor Gough at their absolute best so far. One change to the West Indies side. Ramnaresh Sarwan coming in to replace the injured Brian Lara. Lara has a damaged hamstring, wants to rest it so that he's fully fit for the Test match, starting at the beginning of next month up at Old Trafford. Nagamutu retained. Franklin Rose is back, displacing Nixon McLean. Still no Chanderpaul. There's a superb cover drive, this time from Sherwin Campbell.
I'll keep emphasising the quality of this wicket. This is a tremendous shot. Game played on the up, not a genuine half volley. Played late, able to play it square of the wicket. Great shot. And for the second time, a single follows the boundary. That's good batting. This is going to be a real test for the experienced England bowlers, but most importantly for Franks. He's bowling on a real good deck here.
All the signs are that England are going to have to chase a big total here today. Something they haven't had to do in this NatWest series so far. They had to chase just 115 to beat Zimbabwe at Old Trafford, and 170 to beat the West Indies at Chester Street. Subtle change of pace from Gough, that right down to 75 miles an hour. He's usually right up in the high 80s. Perhaps not pulling out all the stops today. Wants to have all his energy available for Saturday's final.
There you see the miss hit. That's the benefit of mixing up the pace a little bit on a good wicket. Well, 2 balls at good pace, followed by 2 slow balls, and then the 5th ball again back to good pace. And it can really mess up a batsman's time in that. If you get him in the right place. And that last ball looked as if it had a touch of pace taken off it as well.
Darren Gough has bowled the fastest delivery so far in this series, up at 92 miles an hour. Rion King, the quickest of the West Indies bowlers. Craig White, quite a surprise to some people that he's right up there. He streaked the only quick bowler available to Zimbabwe. Another no ball from Paul Franks. David Houghton was just making the point about bowlers overstepping the crease in practice. Have a look at Franks in practice. See, miles over the front line.
Well, the interesting thing there, the back foot has actually passed the stumps. And, no chance of bowling anywhere near 22 yards. I have to say, when I was a coach, it was something that frustrated the life out of me.
Yeah, you sometimes feel like building a little wall there, don't you, so that they can't physically get over the line.
I'll tell you what I did do once. I actually put a stump down along the ground, just the other side of the crease. So if you want to bowl no balls, you're welcome to break your ankle. It worked for a short while.
That's a superb straight drive from Chris Gale. It's a very, very good innings so far from Chris Gale. He's made just 14 runs, but 3 of them with superb boundaries.
Stand and deliver. Not much footwork at all. Just a small transference of weight and then bat straight through the line. Beautiful shot.
Grunt of effort from Paul Franks. It is a hard work pitch for the bowlers. Batsmen should enjoy themselves today out in the middle.
Yeah, definitely on a wicket that's as easy to bat on as this. Your margin of errors come down to minute areas, about the size of a matchbox. Just the other side of that's driven. Anything short of the matchbox pulled or hooked. You really have a lot of work.
This one's gone up in the air, but bounced in between the 3 fielders who were after it. Flintoff, Hussain and White all fancied their chances of catching that when it went up in the air initially.
Well, Paul Franks will probably feel that a batsman-friendly wicket like this, they don't deserve the luck as well. Chris Gale's had some. He's trying to whip on the leg side and got the leading edge. He's gone up high over backward point and landed perfectly, dissecting 3 fielders.
Useful addition to the statistics, the speed of the bowlers. Graham Hickett to short extra cover. He's moved out from second slip. Run rate approaching 5 and over already. England have been very good at restricting the opposition in the first 15 overs. Andrew Caddick, not in action today, has been part and parcel of that performance by the England bowlers. Scores of 42 for 3, 52 for 2, 42 for 2 and 48 for 1, the opposition against England in the first 15 overs. It looks so they might score a lot more than that today. Elam.
Yeah, I think Brian Lara must be sitting there reading the fact that he's not fit to play in this game. Really good wicket to bat on, and with the test not far away, the 3rd test, a good opportunity to get some good batting practice out in the centre, in an international as well. A steady start there from the West Indies. Another change of pace by Darren Goff. He really is mixing it up. You have to on a wicket like this.
It's the Goff off spinner, getting some bounce and turn. Is going to miss out on this perfect batting pitch. He's dragged that ball from Darren Goff into his stumps.
I was terribly unlucky. It's not really beaten his defence as such. He played it a bit late. And it's come off the elbow and gone backwards. Just dislodged one bail. That's all it needs. And that's the end of Sherwin Campbell.
Yes, he must have thought the danger was over, but that's gone off his elbow into his stumps. Sherwin Campbell gone for 12, the West Indies 34 now for 1.
Ever had trouble finding the one?
By Scrumpy Jack.
Wavell Hines in at number 3. He's all set to face Darren Goff. Averages 30 in this form of the game. No ball this time from Goff. Not pleased with himself. .25 matches now for Wavell Hines. 660 runs. 100 already recorded, just 3 other 50s. He'd like to get another one of those today, I'm sure.
That first one-day 100 of Wavell Hines was against Zimbabwe in Kingston, Jamaica. It was a tremendous knock. Really is an entertaining player to watch when he gets going. Well, straight away, first 2 balls from Darren Goff. The first one at speed was a no ball. The second one, out's popped the slow off break.
It's an appeal from Goff, but nothing from behind the stumps. Good over from the Yorkshire paceman. 4 overs now. 1 wicket for 13. West Indies 35 for 1 from 8 overs. Time for Michael Holding and Paul Allott to take up commentary.
Change the ball in, left arm over the wicket.
Thanks, Bob. 35 for 1, West Indies. Darren Goff, the man who's taken that wicket with a little bit of good fortune and desperately bad luck for Sherwin Campbell. Onto the ground, onto his elbow and back onto off stump. Goes down as bowled in the book. Alan Mullally into the attack in place of the debutant Paul Franks.
Yes.
0 for 21 from 4 for Paul Frank. He's never quite got his rhythm. Nerves, I would expect, and understandable as well. Mullally, though, has been England's most rhythmical bowler through this series. ...31 years of age, and some top figures through this tournament. 2 for 13, 3 for 27 is best. Tell you what though, Mikey, this looks a pretty good pitch, doesn't it?
Has always been. I can't remember seeing an international game being played here at Trent Bridge and the pitch hasn't been excellent. This is what we need for this limited over version of the game. Good flat pitches, consistent bounce and pace, so the batsmen go out there and enjoy themselves.
Past the outside edge. Chris Gale, the batsman, who's made 16.
Very upright seam. Not a lot of movement though. Not much help out there for the seamers.
West Indies have had to jiggle the batting order around a bit through this tournament to no real great effect. Gale opened in the first 2, then batted at 5, and now he's back opening again. Hines at 3, Adams 4, Powell, Sawa, no Brian Lara today, resting a hamstring. It's a good shot. That's through the covers and go all the way for 4. All fours for Gale.
I've been pushing that right leg down the pitch all morning, Chris Gale, looking for those drives. No way a half volley. Not even close to being a half volley. But the good nature of this pitch allows the batsman to drive through the line. Beautifully placed.
Roar from the crowd, but Hussain doing no more than gathering the ball.
Well, he saved some runs there though, and that's what I was saying. If that had gone over his head, that would more than likely have been another boundary. Good start by the West Indies, apart from the fact that they have lost a wicket. 39 runs in 9 overs.
.21 square of the wicket on the offside. Only 2 runs on the leg side. Shows that England are bowling to one side of the wicket. They're bowling a little bit too far to one side. Also shows that the pitch is pretty good, because the bowling hasn't been that bad. There have been shots on the up that have been crashed through the offside. Smiles from Darren Gough. I suppose England can sit back and enjoy this game. They've qualified for the final. West Indies pose no further threat in this competition. England will want to win, of course. They'll want to perform well, but to a certain degree the pressure is off them.
Previous games we saw Andy Caddick bowling long opening spells, 7 and 8 overs. It'll be very interesting to see if they use Darren Gough in that mode in this game with no Andy Caddick. Coming up to the end of his 5th over now, 1 for 13.
Do you think Darren Gough lost the toss? I think it was him or Caddick that had the rest. And the only way to decide who would do it was to toss a coin. Exaggerated movement from that no ball. I think Darren Gough's pretty enthusiastic though, isn't it? Well, he's not pretty, he's very enthusiastic, just wants to play all the time.
Captain said both men wanted to play. Someone had to take a rest to give Paul Franks a chance.
And again, movement away from Hines. Slower ball.
That gives you the impression that the spinner should be able to get the ball to turn. Those slow deliveries from Darren Gough. Gripping the surface, he's just sliding the ball over his fingers. You can see it rotating down the pitch.
Again, a little bit of cut. Just the no ball from the over. 40 to 1 from 10 now. The West Indies. Not many spinners there, Mikey. Graham Hick might get into the attack, I suppose, with his off spin. Other than that, it's all seam. Flintoff, who probably won't bowl, White, Elam, and then the 3 frontliners, Franks, Gough, Mullally.
Good to see now that England are now thinking about picking a team that will win matches instead of thinking about balance. Kept on hearing this word in this country about balance. West Indies with 4 fast bowlers had no balance. The balance was with the West Indies with winning the games.
It's pretty succinctly put, Mikey. Correct as well. No point playing a spinner just for the sake of it. He's not going to take wickets, bowl batsmen out. Don't play him. Bowl somebody who can. Hussain and Mullally have been in discussion about the field. And the outcome of that is that Deep Cover, who was on the boundary, has come back into the circle. Fine Leg was up. He's gone back down to Fine Leg. And the offside has had a bit of a transformation. There's no slip. There's a gully, very short gully really, and a short extra cover. And 3 other men in the circle just.
I think that discussion was all about Chris Gayle driving through the offside. They did have a man out on the point boundary to cut that 4 off. But Mullally obviously said that he needed his fine leg, so the fine leg drops down again.
Shows that Hussain and Mullally are thinking about this. There's Craig White outside the circle, and the bowler's delivered now as White just jigs into the circle. Hussain is alongside him, and he's 7 or 8 paces outside the circle now. He will end up inside the circle as Mullally delivers the ball. The short gully. You can see Hussain in picture there, backing up. There we are. Again, the jig into the circle. There you go, 30-yard circle is in for you, shaded darker. Now Hussain and White are outside the circle, they're coming in now.
Left arm over. Away for two. Two.
Wavell Hines on strike, field changes quite markedly. There's a slip in, a short extra cover. Hussain is in the circle and close. Still pressure on the batsman, but different sort of pressure applied by the field and the bowler.
And of course with Wavell Hines not yet off the mark. Faced 12 balls of course, but with him not yet off the mark, you need a slip in place. Attacking, get a wicket if possible.
Very good over from Alan Mullally. 41 for 1. Eleven overs gone, West Indies are 41 for 1 after being put in by Nasser Hussain. Darren Gough continuing, he's just beginning his 6th over, he's the successful bowler. 1 for 14. Got rid of Sherwin Campbell, who basically needed dragging off the pitch after playing on to Gough. He knew that this is a very good batting pitch, and desperately aggrieved to have missed out.
Nasser Hussain also said before the game started at the toss that it's a difficult field on which to defend a total. That's why he wanted to bat second. This is Sherwin Campbell's dismissal. Saw it going back and could do nothing about it. That is the hard part. You are looking at it happening and can do nothing about it.
It's that slower ball again. Darren Gough has twigged pretty quickly that there's not much pace, bounce or seam movement in this pitch, so he's going to have to vary his deliveries a little bit. Bowling up in the high 80s in terms of mile an hour. That one was just 74. It's all right saying that the pressure's off these two teams, Mikey, but you've still got to score a few runs, haven't you? Wavell Hines has been in 17 balls now, and he's not off the mark.
I'm not too sure if the pressure is off both teams. It might be off England for sure. But the West Indies need to start winning again. They're under quite a bit of pressure, not just from people here in England, but from the folks in the Caribbean as well.
gorgeous weather here at Trent Bridge. We'll be hoping for some more of the same on Saturday. The final of this NatWest series, England plays Zimbabwe. It's live from Lords on Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Extra. Coverage begins at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. Before that, though, there's plenty of sport on Sky Sports 1. New Zealand play South Africa in the Tri-Nations Rugby Union, live at 3:30 a.m. and again at 8:30 a.m. on Sky Sports 1.
Chris Gayle again coming onto the front foot looking for the drive. I haven't seen him play one stroke off the back foot yet.
What's the mood in the West Indies camp then, Mikey? After winning the first test, they've in international cricket at any rate since then have slumped quite alarmingly. It's been a poor performance really in this NatWest series. This side doesn't really seem to be in tune with one-day cricket, and I can imagine the way they played in this tournament affecting them for the rest of the summer.
I don't think it will affect them for the rest of the summer at all. I think they won the first test quite convincingly. They could have won the second test at Lords. A bit more luck and certainly they would have won that test. They certainly haven't had a very good one-day series. That is definitely the situation, but as I said earlier on in the tournament, this is not a very experienced one-day team, and it will take quite some time for them to really gain the experience at this level, to understand exactly what is required in the one-day game. And until that happens, they are likely to lose a few games, although they didn't start the competition that badly. They could have won at Lords when it was rained out.
Well, the point about the West Indies, Mike, is that they really have to learn their one-day cricket in an international scenario, don't they? There's very little domestic one-day cricket in the Caribbean. So all these players really only get the chance for experience in one-day cricket in this type of atmosphere. It's a good stop by Hussain.
That is definitely the case. Not a lot of one-day cricket in the Caribbean. Well, not a lot of first-class cricket in the Caribbean either, not as much as in a lot of other countries, but it has worked in the past, the amount of first-class cricket that they've played. And I don't think that will really change. Just the one-day cricket takes a lot longer to gain the experience.
Good ball!
Well, it was destined to be the first maiden of the innings until Alan Mullally overstepped.
Not a long way over, says Merv Kitchen. But again, we see Chris Gayle there coming onto the front foot to a short ball. That's it, not a long way over. If he had played back, he would have had a better chance of playing that through the onside. It was short enough to be going back.
And the no ball costs England an extra run as well off the last ball of the over. It's 44 for 1. Over 50 minutes played this morning. Darren Gough continuing his bowler from the start. Paul Franks took the new ball, bowled the first over. Darren Gough is bowled from the pavilion end. Just a gentle breeze on a Gorgeous summer's day here at Trent Bridge, Nottingham. Oh, good skills, Darren Goff. Oh, nearly. Barnsley, here I come.
Always open to things like this, Darren Goff. Great character. Game needs people like that.
Kirtley's pretty good at that, isn't he? He's got good skills for a big man.
He needs them. Who wants me bending down from that height on a regular basis?
You ever do that, Mikey?
Not the last bit. I didn't like bending either.
No. There's that slower ball again. It's not what you'd call slow. 76 miles an hour is the pace of some opening bowlers these days. But Goff bowls it as a fast sort of off-cutting, off-break. It's getting bounce as well. And it's not easy to pick.
Because this pitch is so dry, the dry nature of this pitch allows the ball to grip the surface. That's why when it's spinning like that, it will bounce and it will cut.
Steered away down to third man. Or Frank's down there at in front of the new Radcliffe Road stand. The only indication you get is just before Darren Goff lets the ball go, his thumb slips to the side of the ball. Good stop. "14 overs gone, 45 for 1. Watch the thumb. Only just see it there in slow motion, so the batsman's not got much chance of picking it. And Goff enjoying himself as ever. Just have a look at this again. Right, there goes the thumb. Hang on, go. There, come off the ball. Can't spot that as a batsman, can you? No good asking you and me, though, is it?
Some batsmen will tell you that they could make out the writing on the ball as it got down to them. I know, I think I've passed a few balls close enough to the eyes for them to see it a bit later on, but not at the release.
Well bowled. Not seen many get off straight this morning, but Mullally is getting a fraction of movement.
Beautiful seam there. Seam just slightly tilted towards the slip cordon. Not a lot of runs coming for the West Indies since Alan Mullally and Nasser Hussain got together and placed this particular field. Just 6 runs coming from the last 5 overs. And Wavell Hines, 19 deliveries, no runs yet.
Andrew Carrick on water duty, 12th Manning, signing, oh no, having a chat with the cameraman. Andy Carrick, who's been fundamental part of England's bowling attack through this tournament and bowled very well indeed, as indeed all the England bowlers have. Just to back that up, you look at the first 15 over scores that England have conceded in this tournament so far. 42 for 3 Zimbabwe made against them in the first game. This is in the first 15 overs. 52 for 2 Zimbabwe in the second game. 42 for 2 West Indies, and 48 for 1 Zimbabwe in the last game. So never conceded more than 52 in the first 15, and you would settle for that. Going to do it again here. It's one off the over. 46 for 1 from 15. So another fine performance in the first 15 overs by England's bowlers.
Important that they take wickets as well. A couple of wickets on a few occasions. Today, the 1 wicket. Just about 3 runs per over. That's good going.
Need those today, keep the sun off. Darren Goff's bowled through the first 15 overs. He's come off now and will be replaced by Mark Elam. Darren Goff not only has finished his bowling stint, he's gone off the field for a short while. Nick Knight comes onto field for him. Knight, who broke his index finger in the test at Lord's, has not played in any